Welcome to show number 3 of humans using LinkedIn. Thank you very much for tuning in or watching us on YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever you're finding us. For those who don't know, I'm Teddy Burriss. I'm a LinkedIn strategist and advisor. My purpose is to help business professionals who want to use LinkedIn as a business tool. Absolutely love doing this work. It's been a real blessing for me, not only to learn LinkedIn since 2007, but for me to connect with really, really freaking cool people and to learn new ideas and how else other humans are using LinkedIn. Now, this show is not about Teddy bringing other LinkedIn strategists, trainers, coaches, consultants, gurus, whatever the terms are. That's not the purpose here. The purpose is to bring other, what I refer to as real humans who use LinkedIn the same as you are. Maybe for a slightly different goal, maybe for a slightly different business purpose, but they're just other humans that love to use this business tool. And that's why today I'm bringing Theresa Rains and Jane Lehman to the show. Jane, help me, don't make a mistake. Lehman or Lehman?
Yes, Lehman. Thank you. You got it.
Yeah, Dale
Yay.
Carnegie told me to pronounce Jane's name appropriately, or she'll get mad at me. So anyway, this let's start. Let's get started. You know who I am. Theresa, would you introduce yourself to the audience, and then I'll get Jane to introduce herself.
Sure. So I'm Theresa Rains. I'm a senior solutions architect at Theresas, which is an online healthcare company. Been there for almost 9 years, but love LinkedIn, have it up on my third screen all day, every day. I have ADHD, so it's a nice way to just have a little break from working too hard.
Yeah. And you're a very busy lady, because you're not just a solutions professional for Theresas. There's a little bit more to you. Do you want to share that?
Sure. So the art behind me is mine. This is what I call Big Happy Art. It's a multi-canvas mural. So this is you're seeing 4 little pieces of a much bigger 6-panel piece. And the total size is actually 16 feet. It spans 2 floors and an atrium. There's 3 of them, so 36 canvases altogether. So that's my side hustle. And then I'm also getting my Pilates certification at the same time.
Yeah. And Pilates certification is a whole lot of work, way more than the stuff I struggle with, which is simply getting up off the couch.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
I know.
Right.
So, well, cool. So, Theresa, thanks for joining us here. Jane Lehman. Jane, would you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yes, my name is Jane Lehman. I am a business solutions specialist with Legal Shield. I've been with the company for 15 years, and I am on LinkedIn, not all day long, but quite a bit of the day, doing my business there, as well as being active in the Chamber of Commerce and doing things locally as well.
Real cool. And Theresa, remind me, where are you hanging out? You're right down the road from me, I think.
I'm in Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah. And Jane, where are you?
I am near San Antonio, Texas, in a town called Burriss, Texas.
Burriss, Texas. Cool beans. So, all right. So let's break this down. Let's talk a little bit about how these two humans are using LinkedIn. So, Theresa, when we first talked, you said that you love to use LinkedIn to stay in front of the people who are important to you. Share a little bit more about that and what you do that.
Sure. Well, I'd say I was an early adopter of LinkedIn. I think maybe 2005-ish. And back then it was really the virtual Rolodex, so a way for me to stay in touch with my clients. I've been in sales for over 20 years. And so really the roster of my clients, and it's a way to kind of get to know them a little bit better beyond their current job and have a more personal type of conversation. It can be a real good icebreaker. So that was kind of how it all started back in the day, but it's become so much more. I love using it even just to connect with people at Theresas. So when I started at Theresas, we were 300 people. Now we're over 1,000. And so whenever new employees come on board, welcoming them, reaching out to them, and then great way to stay in touch too when people leave companies, so it's just a great network. And I've gotten some good art business from this, in the short term. So somebody who was in my MBA program in 2006 reached out to me for a commission just last year. Former Theresas employee, now somewhere else, reached out to me for a commission coming up. So I'm getting ready to work on some trees for Pennsylvania view.
Oh,
So
cool, cool. And you and I talked about this earlier, and you have a virtual Rolodex, but you don't have one of these, Theresa?
no, but I did have those books, you know, that you could flip with the business cards. I actually had those a long time ago too.
Yeah. I never collected business cards. I did have a
And
day timer.
now I have my virtual business card on my phone. So big happy art,
You're,
little QR code right there takes them to my LinkedIn page. Really nice and easy.
yeah. You're going to incorporate that into a piece of art one day?
Um, you know, maybe. You never know. I like to cut things up and glue them into things. So who knows what'll end up in there someday.
There's an artist that I heard about this morning in a conversation. I can't remember the guy's name or the person's name, and a very well-known, long past deceased artist. But every piece of artwork that this person had a piece of trash in the art, a crumbled up something or another. And I can see little Theresa Rain's QR codes, spread out that send people to different places.
Teddy,
I like
I'm seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
well, and I do like to hide things in there. So I might put a secret something on the back of the painting, or, you know, a message that is just for me and the client that, you know, isn't necessarily for someone else to see.
Yeah. So I like the idea that you started out using it as a Rolodex, and then it turned into a space to stay in touch and get into conversations. And then it's starting to open doors for you for your business. That's real cool.
Well, and I used it just recently for planning an event, and I found it to be more effective than Evite, you know, for actually inviting and tracking RSVPs. So basically created the event, was able to filter on people within like a 5-hour driving radius or so, and going through my connections one by one. And it was so cool to go back in time, looking at all the people that you've made acquaintances with over the last, 20 years or so.
Yeah.
And some of them really just brought a smile to your face as you pull up their picture and, oh, I gotta invite them. I hope they come.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'm with you. Yeah. So you didn't use the Yellow Pages to find resources to help you? Do you even have a phone book like that, Theresa?
No, or a landline anymore. Who does?
Yeah, I'm with.
Oh my goodness! Yay, Jane!
Look at it. Remember, it was 3 inches thick. I was so surprised to see this. Anyway.
Yeah. So
I love the relics from the past on this show, the Rolodex and the Yellow Page.
Yeah. All right, Theresa, thank you very much for sharing. Hang tight. So Jane,
yes,
I want people to know a little bit about who you were, and then that next step, and then how you got to your third step. And we'll talk a little bit about LinkedIn. You started out as a professional musician?
Yes, sir.
Does that mean people paid you?
Well, yes.
Well, yes.
Yes, I was a professional musician. I played the French horn for 30 years. 25 of those years I lived in Germany and played professionally in a German radio orchestra. So we traveled a lot, got to see the world. So that was wonderful. And at some point I lost the passion for that. There were several things that happened along the way, but suddenly I found myself able to come home with a very nice severance. I explained that to you. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew that money won't last forever, but especially when 2008 hit and a lot of my money had been in the stocks. I watched it dwindle. So
but then you took a different job and you became, what was it, a certified mediator?
Yes, I became a certified mediator and was mediating in the courts up in Michigan. And through that, I learned about the company Legal Shield. The mediating was phenomenal. It gave me some great opportunities to help people. When I moved to Texas 10 years ago to take care of my father, however, I was told wrongfully that I could not mediate here. And I knew all of my mediation certificates were national. They were national certifications. But I was busy with my father. And when he passed away, I had just done Legal Shield And I switched over completely to Legal Shield after he passed away. I wasn't going to worry about that, all those certificates. That was, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars worth of certificates. And I just went straight into my Legal Shield, which also helped me immensely down here in Texas after I got sued in Michigan. I was sued by the woman trying to buy my house after she quit her job and didn't get a loan. And I, what do you do?
Yeah.
Well,
you became a Legal Shield, and ID Shield, and you got highly focused on it. And you told me that one of the things that you decided to do was to connect with people, move them into conversations. Tell me a little bit about what that means in the context of LinkedIn.
Well, this all happened from a gentleman I heard speak at my chamber, but he was talking about building LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I only had 1,900 followers, about the same amount of connections, but he gave me a challenge to write original content every day for 60 days. And I agreed to do that, but I realized very quickly I'd never done that before. I was like, I never write my own content. I thought we were supposed to share information. Like Theresa thought it was a Rolodex. I thought it was a place to share information. He said, no, you have to write your own post. So I started, he helped me through those 60 days, giving me ideas, telling me to do a poll, do a slide share, do this, do that. It's all stuff I had to figure out on my own, but I never stopped. After those 60 days, I continued posting daily for 2 solid years, 730 posts, and without taking any breaks at all. And it was a great learning experience, and it grew my following from 1,900 to over 11,000, right? And I became very careful about who I connect with. Right. And so my connections are much less, around 6,000. I don't connect with everyone that follows me, of course. You can't do that. So I'm very cautious with who I connect with, but I also love to get to know the person. It takes a lot of time.
It does.
But I want to meet with people. I want to see, who are you? And how can I connect you? Because I am a connector. I love connecting people. Yeah. As I told you.
So you'll connect with people, and then you'll invite the right people, the ones who are the most relevant and or interesting, I think, into a conversation. And that's, if I heard you right, that's where you do one of two things, if not both. One is you'll decide who they need to meet next.
Right.
And introduce them to people they need to meet. And or, if I heard you right, where relevant and appropriate, you'll say something that pulls them into a business conversation around your business. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not there to throw my business at them, to throw up on them, if you will. I'm there to learn about them. And of course, these Zooms are a two-way street. So I do share about what I do. If they see value, yes, they may know someone. Just like I'm thinking, who do I know? Who do I know? Some of the people I connect with expressly to introduce to someone else.
Gotcha.
Hey, it takes me out of the way.
What percentage of the time do you make a phone call versus a Zoom call?
Oh, I'd say 97% Zoom or 98% Zoom. I can make phone calls all day long, but you don't get to know a person really. We all know that having coffee with the person, that's ideal. Yeah. Getting to see the person. Do they show up on time? Or, just so many things. How do they treat the waiter? Yeah. Right. How do they treat the server? How do they treat the cashier? You can learn so much from a person just watching how they treat other people. But on a Zoom, we don't have any of that, but you can still see each other and get some ideas. Yeah. Right?
I got you. Real good. And you said you're not on LinkedIn all day, but you're on it often.
I'm connected to it all day, put it that way. But of course I get out and do other things, but I go back and check it, I'm on for maybe an hour, sometimes 2 hours in the morning, and then off I go. So
now, are you a free LinkedIn user, or are you using Premium or Sales Navigator?
I have done all three.
What are you using now?
Right now, I am back to the free version. For my business, Sales Navigator was almost like a waterfall. I couldn't handle it. It was too much.
And Theresa, are you Sales Nav Premium? What are you using?
Premium, and I like having the extra visibility that it gives me.
I like the analytics. It can be beneficial, but I'm a sales navigator guy.
But I also use Shield for extra analytics.
How do you like Shield?
I really like it because it helps you just even find, oh, what was that post that I did about X? You know, it makes it much easier to find it and click on it and versus scrolling through all your posts.
Yeah, that's painful. That's painful. So Theresa, Jane, thank you both for showing up and sharing. Really, the goal is just for people to hear there are other ways, there are other activities, there's other, tactics that we could be using that someone may get value out of. And maybe, just maybe, someone's going to ditch their Rolodex and go for the digital Rolodex like Theresa's doing. Maybe, just maybe, somebody will connect on LinkedIn and invite someone to a mutually beneficial conversation as Jane is doing, rather than, invite them to connect on LinkedIn and then the very set of next message is, dude, you need to buy my stuff, which is atrocious. And so thank you very much for both sharing with us today. I really appreciate it. I want to share one more thing. Jane said this to me earlier when we were talking about how someone will connect with you on LinkedIn or they'll message you and it may not be a fit between the two of you. And then the next message they will send, or the next thing that comes through them or whatever, is, hey, please look at your network and find somebody that would be beneficial to me. This is not how you network on LinkedIn. You don't ask somebody to stroll through their Rolodex to find that business card to give to them. The right way to use LinkedIn is that when you're doing your research and you discover someone who's of interest to you or relevant to you, you go look and find who do you know that knows that person. And then you very deliberately say to Theresa, Jane, or Teddy, hey, I see you know Bill. Could you introduce me to Bill? Doesn't mean we can, doesn't mean we will. But rather than ask somebody to stroll through their network and find you connections, you find the humans you want to talk with, and then you ask those that you know well to introduce you to them. That is my blunt tip of the day, which, by the way, might become a feature on this show in the future. So, hey, find us on YouTube. Find the burrissconsulting.com website with these shows. If you know somebody that you think would be a good human to be on the show, let me know who that is, and I'll invite them to a conversation about being a human using LinkedIn. So thank you very much, everybody, for showing up. Theresa, Jane, thank you both for participating today. I appreciate both of you.
Thank you very much.